Hey guys, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. How's everybody doing tonight? Hopefully, you guys are having a great night. My dogs are already growling at each other because one's walking over the other one. It's going to be a fun night. Let me fix my camera a little bit so you can see Nancy. Look at Nancy back there. I got a beanie on her, I got a scarf on her. She's dressed for the season because it's definitely winter in Ohio. Or if you're in the Midwest, what is going on? But thank you guys all for being here. If you are new to the channel, my name is Tanya or TitaniumBuilt. Thank you for joining me for another live. If you're not new to the channel, I appreciate it. So we're going to cover some Idaho and we're going to cover some Nancy, Idaho. So I'm pretty excited about it. Let me fix my chair too. Wow, I'm just like all kinds of a mess. It's probably because I worked out earlier in here and I moved stuff around. So but let's see who's in here tonight. Let's see who's in. If you are new to the channel, say hello in the chat. We'd love to have you. Let me make sure the chat replay's on for you guys for tomorrow if you're watching on a replay. Because they'll get me if I don't put that chat replay on. Sometimes I forget. Okay. And then I'm going to put on subscribers for any duration. And welcome in you guys. Hey, Ashley. Hey, Mike. How are you guys doing tonight? Hey, Ladybug. Hey, Lori. Number one on the counter, Ladybug said. Look at that. She's back. Hey, Princess. Hey, Catherine. Hey, Mandy. It's good to see you guys. So you guys know, I think everybody that was in here was here earlier, but so my new prosthetic. Oh, I was just about to say about something about my new prosthetic. So I went up to get it today. I drove all the way up there. I dropped Vincent off at work first, which is a half hour away, and then drive all the way up there. And they put it in, and it felt fine. It felt good, actually. It felt normal, as normal as a prosthetic eye can feel. And it didn't rub, I should say. Sometimes though it'll rub and they have to take it out, and remold and things like that. But when he put it in, he noticed, and I kind of noticed that, Amy, stop doing that to her. That my eyes were, the prosthetic, the new one was a little darker than my regular brown eye. So he's going to send it back. They're going to tweak it, and then they're just going to send it to me in the mail, which is so funny. And then I'll get it to Monday or Tuesday. So I have to be here to sign for it. It's hilarious. I should record it whenever the guy comes, just so I could be like, that you're delivering a prosthetic eye. I usually tell them, and then they get kind of freaked out. So I always find it funny. So I didn't get it, but it was at least a step in the right direction, because if they would have sent it to me to the house the first time and I didn't go up there and get it like I requested this time, I would have never noticed that it was the darkness, and something would have been like throwing me off about it, and I would have been like unhappy, but I wouldn't have known why I was unhappy. I have to have people like point things out to me usually. So thank you for asking, but I didn't get it, but I did. I had it for a minute. I have a picture of me with it. I do have that. I was going to do a little transformation, but they look so much alike. You really can't tell how big of a difference. So let me get to the bottom here. You guys were chit-chatting it up. Hey, True Crime Lullabies. Got to get comfortable. Just got home. Oh, man. I ran all day. I ran all day long. Hey, Cat K. I'm not used to that. Hey, Suze. Hey, Ashley again. Hey, Tempest. But I did get some cute stuff for the studio. We're going to revamp it a little bit. So I got some stuff today for it. Hey, Lord Mama. I can't sit still anyway, so thank you. You look like unfiltered. Well, Cash, that's because we are twins. We are twins. Hey, One Feather. Well, nice to meet ya. Nice to meet ya. Hey, Jerry. Well, thank you. Vincent said the same thing a minute ago. He's like, you did something. I said, I just pulled my hair up. It was pulled up. It just was looking a little crazy. Oh, hey, Ashley. It's been a while. Ladybug, hey, ignore Nightbot. Yeah, just ignore that Nightbot. That Nightbot's crazy. Hey, Michelle. It's good to see all of you guys. Proceed to open the package, thrive off furnish. If I could, I would. If I was that I'm not if that after 10 years, I'm still not ballsy enough to, like I can take it out. I could take it out. I'm proud of myself for being able to do that. But to put it back in is a whole other story for me. I don't know why I can't do it, but you know who can? Vincent. Imagine I'm lucky. I'm lucky. Hey, Lucy. But that's so funny. I did threaten a bartender one time though. This was like right when I got it because I haven't drank in 9 years. So it was like right when I got it. I threatened to throw it at him. I was like, if you do not serve me, I will pop this eye out and throw it at you. I said, and my friend has prosthetic legs, so don't mess with him neither. It was pretty funny. So, Suze, nothing's wrong with the one that I have now. Just every 5 years, I'm eligible to get another one. Like my insurance will pay for me to get one. And so, why not? This one's been through 5 years of hairspray, makeup, weather, pollution. Because when you have a prosthetic eye, your hey Aries, your eye watering duct, it doesn't like work like normal. Like when you blink, you get water on your eyes. When I blink, it produces a little bit there, lubrication, but mine's mostly like if I go outside and it's cold, it dries up so fast. And it hurts. It doesn't really hurt. It just bothers me. I shouldn't say it hurts. She had a prosthetic eye. Your mom did, Laura Mama? See, no, my funeral director better not be saying none of that because I called my funeral director because I'm crazy. I'm crazy. I really am. I called and I asked them if I passed away. My mom was on a fixed income towards the end of her life. So I don't know if I was crazy or if this was the sweetest thing in the world, but I called the funeral director and I knew him from my dad's funeral. So I knew him and I said, how much? I said, will you take will you take the metal out? If I were to pass away, like my mom was still alive. And he was like, no, everything that you come in with, you leave with. And I was like, well, could you take it out? She could recycle that. And he was laughing so hard. We were both laughing. It was pretty funny. Hey, Peaky. It was pretty funny. I mean, hey, serious. You have to laugh at some things. You just really do. And that was me and my mom's biggest laugh. She's like, you're not giving me a whole bunch of metal. Hey, Trixies. I was like, well, maybe I will. Hey, Squeaky. Oh man, and I'm gonna get you some really uppity music. I don't know what we're gonna do. We are gonna change the music though soon. This is just StreamYard music I've been using, and no one else uses it, it seems like. So it's like, okay, I just kept using it. So there are some new documents that came out tonight in Idaho. We'll go ahead. We'll start talking about Idaho, I suppose. But thanks for asking me about I appreciate that. Yeah. No, yeah, when they took my screws out, I got my screws. True Crime Lullabies, yeah. I said, "Do I get to keep them? Because those are expensive." She's like, "Sure can. I'll make sure they're cleaned and in a bag for you." I need to find them. They're somewhere around here. I mean, they're in a box or something. Titanium is very expensive, yeah. I was no dummy. I just wanted my mom to be okay if anything happened to me. You got bars and screws? Oh, see, they took the screws out of my legs, thank goodness. I was so skinny at the time, you could just see the screws, like, you could just see them, so I think we all have a little bit of titanium in us, it seems like. Let me pull this up for us. It's surprising. It really is. It's surprising how many people have prosthetic eyes. I mean, not like a whole lot of people, but, I mentioned in the chat, someone will say like, "Oh, I knew somebody or I know somebody with prosthetic eye." I have a acrylic. Mine's made of acrylic, but I knew somebody that had a glass one. Very scary. Hey, Trina. Metalwork competition again. We are. 1796. Really? You have a friend that has one? Did they ever threaten to throw 'em at people? I've threatened to remove my real eye, like, as a throw. It's a joke, you know? Like, instead of listening to this, I'd rather and, like, people were like, "Really, Tanya?" I'm like, "No, not really, but, you know, I'm a little dramatic sometimes. I'm a little dramatic." Is this the oh, wait, I wanna show you, I think this one first. Okay. I didn't get to read through these yet, so we're gonna read through them together, but most of the I saw on this one, it had where they were citing, I think yeah, they're citing, like, um, different cases. We'll skip through that part because I always feel like when we read that part, they're citing, like, other cases. It just, like, when I'm reading it, I feel like I can't grasp it, and I feel like other people probably can't grasp it because it's just like, "Well, this has nothing to do with this case," you know? They're just citing other case law. Um, but normally if I usually download all of these and they're normally color coordinated. So this one would be in blue if it was if I had downloaded it, but it is the defendant's motion to unseal the IGG suppression briefing and hearing. Apparently, they want to open some things up. Which is kind of weird to me that the defense is like, now come on, you know. We call them one eye. I don't have any cool names. No one's messed with me yet. Wish they would though. Oh, I couldn't do the rods and the screws in my back, Trina. Mm-mm. The back, no, not a day. That would be so painful. Oh, that'd be so painful. So, it says, comes now Brian C. Kohberger by and through his attorney of record and hereby moves this honorable court for an order to unseal the investigative genetic genealogy, also referred to genetic information or IGG, suppression briefing and related hearing. It says here, the related briefs are one, memorandum of support for motion to suppress genetic information with attached exhibits filed under seal on 11/18/24. Number two, sealed objection by two defendants' motion to suppress the genetic information with attached exhibits filed under seal on 12/6/24. And three, reply to state's objection to defendants' motion to suppress a memorandum in support of the genetic information with attached exhibits filed under seal on 12/20. So she knows what they have and she wants it to be out in the open. So procedural history, Mr. Kohberger filed his first motion to compel. Here, let me turn my mic up a little bit for you guys. There we go. To compel IGG discovery on June 22nd, 2023. The hearing on that matter was public and involved the testimony of several expert witnesses. We remember them. The court ordered the production of records in camera and under seal. Mr. Kohberger filed a second motion to compel IGG discovery on April 15th, 2024. Over the objection of Mr. Kohberger, the court required that portion of the May 30th, 2024 hearing on the second motion to compel IGG discovery be closed. And that's when they were with Judge John Judge. I remember they did one in the one in the morning, I believe, was like closed, and then the one in the afternoon was open. The court's concerns were the privacy rights of the names of individuals identified in Mr. Kohberger's family tree. At the first and second motion to compel IGG discovery, Mr. Kohberger argued that he would be filing a motion to suppress the IGG. He asked the court to allow the pleadings and hearings be public. On May 20th, 2024, the court indicated it would take the matter up after the suppression pleadings were filed. In the interim, venue change, and this case is now before a new judge. The motion to suppress genetic information was filed on November 14th, 2024, and is now fully briefed. Pursuant to court direction, the parties stipulated to file all IGG suppression pleadings under seal. No names of the extended family tree are discussed in the briefing. The matter is set for hearing on January 23rd and 24th, 2025. Mr. Kohberger requests that the briefing be unsealed and the hearing take place in an open court. So, she wants the briefings unsealed and she wants it to be an open court. And I think she's trying to make it to where the IGG is, should be thrown out. I know that's what she's trying to get thrown out, is like all of that. And she's doing a pretty good job. If you didn't know anything about the law, she could be pulling, the world over some people's eyes. So their argument here, and welcome everybody coming in. Welcome everyone coming in. Due to national and international attention to this case in the interest of protecting Mr. Kohberger's right to a fair trial, many pleadings in this case have been sealed appropriately pursuant to Idaho Administrative Rule 32. Mr. Kohberger has a right to a public trial, and sealing a suppression hearing is a clear violation of this right to a public trial. In addition to Mr. Kohberger's right to a public trial, the public has a First Amendment right to know what goes on in its courts. And then it gives it's going to give a bunch of different examples. The Idaho Supreme Court adopted ICAR 32 to define when public access to judicial records may be denied. When the court is considering whether to seal the record, Rule 32I directs the court to consider the traditional legal concepts in the law of the right to a fair trial, invasion of privacy, defamation, and invasion of proprietary business records, as well as common sense respect for shielding highly intimate material about persons. Under Rule 32, I-1, records may be sealed or redacted if the court determines and makes a finding of fact as to whether the interest in privacy or public disclosure predominates. The court's decision to seal judicial records is discretionary. Here, the way in which the IGG material was accessed and used in a matter of warranting public disclosure and should not be shielded from public's right to know. This matter is of utmost importance to Mr. Kohberger's right to a public hearing. Holding the hearing in open court will not prejudice the parties, and this should be held in open court. The issue raised are legal issues, and cases with similar issues are being decided in other states. The issue raised in Mr. Kohberger's suppression motions are those that are discussed in the public hearing on the first motion to compel. Additionally, the way in which IGG occurred in this case has been made public in other cases, and then it's, see those other cases, and there's available, they put a article on there that you can look at. And it says, Mr. Kohberger has a right to a public trial, and the public has a right to know how genetic information was used in this case. And he does have a right to a public trial, but he's not technically on trial right now. And that's what this lawyer is going to say. Mark my words. Mark them. Mark them. Just mark them. He's going to say that. Neither the state nor Mr. Kohberger will be prejudiced by the unsealing, the briefing, and holding the IGG hearing in open court. The pleadings and hearings should be unsealed. Wouldn't that open that up for a lot of different things, though? If you just open up the IGG, in general. Yes, I don't know, Snap. Hey, Cyber Warrior. I'm just grabbing my drink really quick. I might have to go out in the kitchen and grab a Gatorade. Yeah, I'm hating on them. I'm hating on the Gatorades. No, they're not that bad. They're not that bad drinking it. So this is the notice of hearing, and this came out yesterday. It was either yesterday or today. Sometimes they file them on the day before, and then they don't actually come out for a day or so. But it says notice of hearing and order regarding January 21st, 2025 hearing. Let me see. real quick. Okay. On January 21st at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, the court will hold a closed/sealed hearing by remote video means to one, hear the defense's motion to unseal materials related to its request to suppress evidence stemming from the use of IgG DNA, and two, consider what portions, if any, and under what circumstances should the various motions set to be heard on January 23rd and 24th be open to the public either live and or by video. The clerk will provide a video link to the attorneys of record who request a link to the Ada County Jail so that the defendant may appear via video. The Ada County Sheriff is hereby ordered to provide a secure and private space for a defendant to appear by video for this hearing. And then that was it, Judge Hippler. I think that was it. Yeah, that was it. So looks like they're gonna have a date on the 21st to see what materials should be, sealed or sealed, and and if anything should be suppressed. We'll find that out on the 24th and the 23rd and 24th. Well, okay, Kohberger. We see what you're doing here, I think, a little. I don't know what he's doing. I think that Anne is just trying to put in, hey, Yvonne, trying to put in as many motions as she can, make it look like the prosecution's super messy and they don't know what they're doing. But I don't think, I really don't. I don't think that Bill Taylor or Bill Thompson, sorry, Bill Taylor. I just like molded them together, didn't I? Bill Thompson, I really don't think that he would go with a death penalty case if he really didn't feel like he, had the evidence against the right person. That's just me, I don't see him as a bad cop or a bad, DA. So we'll go over to, so I wanted to show you guys this. I was trying to look up a video for us to watch tonight, something that would be kind of like easier for us since I've been out and I've been up since 6 a.m., which is not, I usually don't get up that early. And I just got home right whenever I got on the live. So I figured, let's do something a little bit more like relaxing, and it'll get us caught up too. Cause this is from November 29th, 2022. And this is going to be from Nancy Grace when she was with Fox Nation. Can you guys still? I don't even want to admit it. I still have a membership with these people. I think she's coming back or something. I don't know. Because remember, like Nancy, like we couldn't get her on anything but like Fox Nation. And so I just like ordered it for this case because it was well worth it. I mean, watching everything that we watched. But I just kept it. I don't know. Now there's like I haven't really seen anything good. Actually, let me know if you guys want to. Alec Murdaugh may get a new trial. I don't know. There's rumors going around. I swear I'm not listening to that man cry again. Fake cry. But Nancy did a video on it tonight and it's going to come out, I think, tomorrow. But I have a video from Fox Nation from when they were doing the what was like the Murdaugh murders or something. They had like a series going. So we did three parts of the series. There is like a fourth part and it's the egg lady, and fourth or fifth part. And I didn't know if you guys would want to see that or not. So I was going to do it as like a pre-recorded, but yeah, for sure. Yeah, Cash, I've got her all dressed up behind me. Oh wait, you can't see her right now. Let me show you. She's all dressed up with her beanie on. She looks like she's about to rob a bank with the beanie. And then I got a scarf on her. She's very boxy. She doesn't have much shape. Faye cries right? Yeah. Hey, PJs. Welcome in, everybody. Okay. So let's watch some Nancy. Let's go back in time. She's probably going to be so freaking fired up. Yeah, you can just tell like the Paul's game is going to be real tonight. And thank you guys all for being here. So again, this one is going to be from November 29th, 2022. This is one of the first videos that she did. She went to Idaho twice or what? Like did like a couple episodes there, but I was going to try to see if I could find it really quick, but I'll look for it. Wait, right here. Oh no, this is the one I'm just on. That's the one I'm on now. Okay, we'll look.
No motive, no murder weapon, no suspect. What are we talking about? This
hour, we are tracking breaking news. Just a moment ago, Moscow police confirmed 4 people were found dead in a home just steps away from the University of Idaho campus. Right now, we're continuing to work to get more details tonight. We know that students were ordered to shelter in place for a time this afternoon because of the scene's proximity to campus. Breaking news out of Moscow, Idaho. The bodies of 4 University of Idaho students discovered in a house just steps away from campus. Those students were discovered just yesterday afternoon in a neighborhood near Greek Row on campus. Earlier today, the university released the identities of the victims found in that house. 20-year-old Ethan Chapin from Conway, Washington, 21-year-old Madison Mogan from Coeur d'Alene, 20-year-old Xana Zerdodal from Post Falls, and 21-year-old Kaylee Gonzalez from Rathdrum, Idaho.
at this hour, the mystery surrounding the knife murders of 4 young students at University of Idaho still unsolved. As a matter of fact, in the last hours, we are learning new information about the quadruple murder of these young students. According to Steve Gonsalves, the father of Kaylee, he says, quote, "The murders were fast. No one suffered or felt pain." He shares how his daughter came home in an urn. Listen.
Steve Gonsalves, the father of one of the victims, 21-year-old Kaylee, now shedding new light on what happened that night in his first sit-down interview.
It was fast, and nobody suffered and nobody felt like that kind of pain.
Officials maintain the murders happened between 3 and 4 a.m. and that the first 911 call was made around noon. Just hours later, Steve was informed of his daughter's death, not by police, but by family members on campus.
Let's call Maddie. And then you realize Maddie's gone too.
Madison Mogan was Kaylee's lifelong best friend.
You can't imagine sending your girl to college and then they come back in an urn.
And now, the families of the victims growing frustrated by the lack of answers.
I haven't earned the ability to grieve the way that I want to grieve. I want to be able to have justice first.
That from our friends at GMA. As pressure is mounting and fears swirling the university community, we still have no line on a suspect. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us here at Fox Nation and Sirius XM 111.
Just think the day after this is when they get their guy. Or is it December 30th?
Know, however,
December 30th.
Individuals
no, November 30th.
Ruled out. You were just hearing our friends at KREM. Take a listen to Captain Roger Lanier.
We do not believe the following individuals are involved in this crime: the 2 surviving roommates, a male seen
Let me see, when was this? It was December for him. Is this November?
Specifically wearing a white hoodie.
This is November.
A private party who provided rides home to Kaylee and Madison in the early morning hour of November 13th. Additionally, the identity of the 911 caller and the 911 call have not been released. So any information out there is speculation about that.
Joining me in All-Star panel to make sense of what we know right now, we do know the 911 call has not yet been released. And in the last hours, Chief James Fry from the Moscow Police tries to answer that question. Listen.
Gotti Schwartz, NBC News. Just following up on the 911 call, you said that you don't believe that's the killer. Can you conclusively rule out the person that called 911 from inside the home as a suspect in this case?
Can you go ahead and just ask that one more time, please?
The person that was inside the home that called 911 that was not one of the roommates. Can you conclusively rule that person out as a suspect at this point?
I don't think I said that it wasn't one of the roommates. I said that it was used with the roommate's phone.
So that would mean it wasn't one of the roommates. It was somebody used the roommate's phone. He just told on himself.
But he asked if that was the killer.
No, that's correct.
Bottom line, the 911 call has not yet been released. So what do we know? First of all, to Nicholas Bogle-Burrows, national reporter, New York Times, joining us. He is there on the scene in Moscow. Nicholas, thank you.
Now, I ain't going to say, I ain't trying to get Brian Kohberger freed or nothing, but does this guy look like he has bushy eyebrows too? I think everybody in this case has bushy eyebrows.
For being with us. What is the latest? Seemingly all the news we're getting out of Idaho is that we don't have any news.
Hi, Nancy. Thanks so much for having me. Yeah, I mean, this investigation is now in the third week.
I think it was Hunter.
Students are coming back to campus in Moscow. A lot of them told me yesterday they're really scared. They, are taking all kinds of extra precautions. But like you're saying, the police have really given no solid information about, who might have done this or why at this point.
I want to go straight out to a special guest joining us, Kathleen Canning-Mello, former FBI unit chief, 31 years, 10 of those with the Behavioral Analysis Unit, currently instructor, University of North Carolina, Wilmington. Kathleen, thank you so much for being with us. I know you just heard our friend from the New York Times joining us from Moscow. He's saying we don't know who the suspect could be. Now, compared to you, we're all amateurs, but I think we can go out on a limb and say it is a white male, because typically killers kill within their own race, and because women typically, statistically, do not commit mass murder with a knife, which narrows it down to a white male, within the orbit of at least one of these 4 victims. You're the expert. I want to hear your analysis.
Thank you so much, Nancy, for inviting me today. And to me, all of the information thus far points to a mass killing event. So what do we know about mass killings? Mass killings are the killings of 3 or more people.
The manatee cups. Remember, she had the manatee cup? Her coffee cups crack me up. Okay. She won't buy a Starbucks. She said she won't. But her cup has manatees on it. I forgot about these. That's funny. I forgot about that.
And with no
Can't take a lady seriously with manatees on her coffee
and what
cup.
is the motive for mass killing? Typically, it's a revenge motive, which is, I think, why the police came out early saying it's a targeted attack. And oftentimes, the initial stimulus for this uncontained rage of probably, like you're saying, Nancy, a white male, is a perception of some real or imagined.
Okay, well, let's do it all. She said it was revenge, but that's not it. It may have many different motives, including revenge, attention, or a desire to escape a difficult situation. So there's more than just the one or two.
Using injury or insult or disappointment, that possibly one of the victims had made, whether it was a side comment to this individual, they may have known this individual or may not have. It could have been a stranger that they had made a comment to. And what we know about mass killers is they are often injustice collectors, right? So this was just one more insult on top of many insults this person has experienced. And that person feels like vengeance is their only retribution. But I think there are some things that we can say that I think the public can help, right? What we know about mass killers is oftentimes they leak, right? What do we mean by leak? It means they give information about their intended plans, whether that be via social media postings or via poetry or writings or drawings that other people may observe or may have observed before the attack occurred. And we do know that mass killers usually plan their activities. So I think there's some information that we can try to get from the public. We can talk about post-offense behavior as well, that other people may have observed and maybe they unknowingly didn't, connect these. So that's sort of my initial standing on this case.
Wow, that's like drinking from the fire hydrant.
Yeah, I'm lost. She lost me. Dumb it down for us, Nancy.
Right there. That was a lot of information, too much, too fast. I tried to take in everything you were saying. I see one issue, and I'm sure you can explain this. I'm going to go to Dr. Jory Crossan joining us, psychologist, professor, St. Leo University, and author. Dr. Jory, I hear what Kathleen Canning Mello, former FBI behavioral analyst, said, that this activity could have been planned, okay? Which means the perp brought the knife and planned to lash out at one target. On the other hand, how does that jive with the theory that this was a rage killing? Because when you're in a rage, you're not really planning anything.
Well, you have to understand rage, okay? Anger is different than rage. What brings about rage is what's called a paranoia shift. Okay, that's where you.
I tell you what, Crossan and Canning Mello, I can't take the notes as quickly as you're talking. Okay, I feel like I'm back in law school. Okay, wait a minute. Did you say what shifting?
A paranoid shifting.
Paranoid shifting.
Shifting.
Okay, everybody start taking notes because I cannot keep up with these two. Go.
Okay. What she was also describing was like say, a narcissistic personality. They have a wounded ego. They'll carry that, and that festers. And that's where, if they get a target, and it can be something as simple as looking across the bar and somebody just giving you a bad look. If you're a narcissistic, individual, that could wound your ego and you could become very violent. I mean, we've had bars.
Why is everybody a narcissist? I swear, I hear that word so many times. They're a narcissist. They're a narcissist. They're a narcissist. It's like, I don't know, just throwing around the word OCD. Like, I'm OCD. That picture's crooked. I just got to fix it. Like, no, ma'am, sir, you're not. But I don't get it.
Our fights and murders on that type of, behavior and that response. So,
I want to also clarify the difference between an incel, which Kathleen Canning Mello mentioned, involuntary celibate. That theory has come up several times. That is the killer, an involuntary celibate who basically sees the world through the lens of misogyny, hating women. And, it's really odd. My son and daughter, their twins, are 15. And my son came home the other day and was talking about one of his friends who seems perfectly wonderful. And the friend said, all women are liars. They're all deceivers. Because he basically got turned down a couple of times for HOCO, translation, homecoming. All right. So
they're called HOCO now?
And he's just a kid already thinking women are deceivers. And I've been researching incels, and they have names, stereotypical names, like someone is a Stacy, certain guys, jocks have their name. And it's just fueled with hatred. I'm not so sure this is an incel, since they're few and far.
So is an incel somebody that just hates somebody because they're more popular than them? Is that kind of what like an incel is? Oh, Ladybug, thank you for letting me meet my goal already. Thank you. Thank you so much. So sweet of you. Thank you. I just saw like it caught my eye. I was like, what was that? And you get like this little confetti. I don't know if it does it on your guys' side, but it does it on my side. And I think it's cool. I think the confetti is awesome. Well, we'll have to pick something out for you to, we'll have to pick something. But I wonder if that's like part of one of the requisites to being an incel is like let's just say, right? Let's just say somebody refer to somebody in a sense of like, and they were, but the person that they referred to them as was like a higher being. I wonder if that would make that other person an incel, or if that's just them making fun.
Or between that actually commit murder, or someone that, as Dr. Jory Crossan and Kathleen Canning-Mello were pointing out, were, and I'm using quotes, insulted. Probably not really insulted, but in their minds they were insulted or rejected. Joe Scott Morgan joining me, professor of forensics, Jacksonville State University, author of Blood Beneath My Feet on Amazon, and star of a hit series, Body Bags, with Joseph Scott Morgan. Joe Scott, you heard Kathleen and Dr. Jory speaking. How does their analysis jive with what we know about the scene?
Well, from my perspective, what I'm taking away from this is that I believe that the individual showed up purposed. They had this knife because they're given a very specific description of this weapon. I think that they showed up with this weapon in hand in order to essentially commit a slaughter in here. And
so you think they showed up meaning to kill more than one person, or meaning to kill the target?
I think probably killing the target. I think perhaps that everybody else was peripheral, but while they were there, I don't know if someone alerted to the presence, and then this individual becomes more rageful.
Wait. No, wait. Joe Scott, wait a minute. Hold on. I need your analysis. But to Nicholas Bogle Burrows, joining me, national reporter, New York Times, there on the scene. Nicholas, I want to analyze what Joe Scott just said. I don't see how the others could be alerted because, based on what the coroner said, some of them were asleep, some of them fought back, some of them obviously were in bed at the time. So if they had been alerted, they wouldn't have still been in bed, would they? Are you getting any information? What can you tell us or refresh our recollection regarding where the victims were?
Right. So this home in Moscow, it's just off campus. It's a 3-story home. There are 2 bedrooms on each floor. And what we've heard from the authorities is that all 4 victims were found on the 2nd and 3rd floors. We don't know exactly which bedrooms. And we know that the coroner has said that she believes that they were likely all sleeping at the time of the attack. She has also said that at least one of them appeared to have fought back. So what that means to me is that they were all asleep when this attack occurred, but maybe one of them woke up during the attack and tried to defend themselves. But we know that there were the 2 surviving roommates elsewhere in the home, and that, as I'm sure you've talked about it a lot, they did not realize that this had happened until hours later.
And so, based on what Nicholas Bogle Burrows is stating, Joe Scott, I don't think they were alerted because they were still in their beds. Maybe one of them, but
and plus you have to think about the structure of the split level, Nancy.
That's really interesting. If we could get our control room to show, there's one particular picture, Jackie, if you could send that again right now. And it's really good, Joe Scott. It shows, you can look at this house, and David Leroy joining me, high-profile lawyer out of Boise, Idaho, former Idaho Attorney General, former Lieutenant Governor, former prosecutor. You can find him at dleroy.com. David, you're very familiar with this house. You've been in the house. And I noticed that, David, if you look at it from one angle, you're coming in on the floor where there's a sliding glass door. You don't really even see the bottom floor. If you come in from the first level, there's two ways to get to it. The first level, you see the, I guess, call it the front door with the code you have to use to get in. I believe the killer came in through the second level, which was also ground level. I like that picture, Hale.
I don't, Nancy. I think that came in the first front door. That's just me. I've always thought that. I know I'm weird, but that front door was open at 8:30 in the morning, and that is a long time before a 911 call was made.
Where it shows level 1, 2, and 3. I mean, the sliding glass door on the second level was actually at ground level, as was the first floor front door. But you come, it's a split level home. You come in from two vantage points, from two entrances. And I believe the killer never went downstairs to the, I guess I would say, basement level where the other two roommates were asleep. David Leroy, usually I'm coming to you for legal analysis, but you have actually been here at this home. Could you describe any better what I'm trying to say?
No, Nancy, your deduction is very logical. What is not always apparent in the photographs, but is likely in the one you're showing, is that this house is set against a hill. So it has, with a rather steep incline, a front part structure, rectangular in nature, and then a back part that's almost two structures built together. And there are two ground level entries. It's just that they're on different levels. The second, third level, the sliding door you're talking about being perhaps 8 or 10 feet higher than that lower level with the pad that you call the front door. It is a split level residence, but almost two residences in the way it's constructed.
And I think that's led to a lot of confusion. Nicholas Bogleborough is with us there on the scene from the New York Times. He is a national reporter for them. Nicholas, you really have to look at it from both angles to see what we're talking about. But
okay, I'm just going to say this about the front door. There was no pin pad on the front of it. It was a pin pad on the inside, and it was for like a security system. So, in my personal opinion, you got a group full of people that live in a house. They're ordering DoorDash or they're going in and out that front door whenever they want. They probably don't even set the code. Because they would probably open the door and have it going off every 10 minutes. So maybe they didn't even set the PIN code. Maybe the door was just unlocked. My curiosity is the back door with the chairs. I never got an answer. Why the chairs were there, who placed the chairs there. I've never seen crime scene investigators do that, but I wouldn't put it past it, but I've never seen it happen. They normally just tape up the door like they did with the crime scene tape, and that's it. If they go back to the crime scene and they see the tape is broken, they know that somebody has been in there, that shouldn't have been in there. That's usually how it is, but they had a guard posted anyway. I don't know. You guys let me know what you guys think.
I kept, turning this around like a Rubik's Cube until I saw the correct angle. Because I guarantee you, Nicholas, this guy, and it is a male, entered through that sliding glass door. I don't believe he had the code. And I think
there was no code
since
needed.
This is a rage killing, very likely was ungloved and left fingerprints. And that it doesn't match up. The prints don't match up to anybody or DNA in CODIS or APHIS because he's not a convict. He's never been convicted of anything. Could you describe the structure of the home, Nicholas?
Yeah, absolutely. I was there yesterday. It is very much on a steep hill. I think that is important. So you have the front door and the driveway, and that goes into the first floor. But then if you go up another roadway to a kind of parking lot for an apartment complex nearby, you can see that there's this sliding glass door to the second floor, and also a kind of patio area where they seem to have a couch and a chair, and seem to be a nice spot to hang out outside that second floor sliding door. So I think,
chairs.
the police have not said anything about where the killer might have entered, but obviously those are two obvious places where that could have happened. And all of this is happening just in this very tight-knit college town area, right under a water tower with the University of Idaho logo. It's all just right in this kind of central area next to campus.
Well, I think it does tell me something about the killer, Joe Scott Morgan. Everybody, again, this is not high tea at Windsor Castle. Jump in. Joe Scott, it is telling me something, because if the perp did not know the code to the front door and came in through the sliding glass door, that tells me he was tangentially involved in the victim's lives. If we accept that the killer is in one of their spheres, likely, since we've got 3 dead females and 1 dead male, likely in one of the 3 female victims' lives. But he wasn't close enough to know the code. What? Jump in, David.
Nancy, you need to recall the intimate setting of this small college town. And if the profilers are correct, if Kathleen's predictions and the other speculations from various sources are correct, it should be possible in a town of 25,000 people and a campus of 11,500, all geographically very contiguous, to see somebody of that profile who suddenly has left town, who suddenly has changed their routine. I'm very hopeful, if these profiles are correct, that though we may not have analyzed the scene evidence to some particular person, some of these tangential things or some of these leaks that hopefully will be developed can perhaps very swiftly lead to a suspect meeting those profiles. And another thing that I think is news is there's an incredible amount of resources, an unprecedented amount of resources being applied by law enforcement, by Idaho standards to this case. The Moscow PD has 24 officers, and they're all working on it, 4 detectives. The Idaho State Police Department out of Boise has detailed their mobile forensic unit up there and has 20 investigators available. And significantly, the FBI out of 3 or 4 field offices and a laboratory in Virginia has 44 agents available to work on this case as well. So if the profilers are correct, somebody will pop up, and perhaps we can marry up the scene evidence to that person in the near future.
Everybody, I want you to take a listen to a theory I've developed so far, and please jump in. I believe this is going to be a white male, local, just as in Delphi. Now, we know that day there was a huge football game, and in that stadium, which holds 16,000 people, the seats were packed. But if we go with the premise this was targeted, that large group of people would be irrelevant to who this killer is. In other words, it's not increasing the suspect pool if we believe that this was targeted by someone within one of the girls' spheres. Local white male, likely with cuts, bruises, and scratches that cannot account for that time of the killing. Someone that one of the girls knew at school or work, someone that did not show up for school or work following it, someone connected to them but not convicted, someone that would own a camping, military, hiking type knife, someone on foot, not a peeping Tom, because this goes beyond the violence we would normally get from a peeping Tom that graduates to a greater crime, with no evidence so far of a stalker. Okay, we would have gotten that from emails or texts or phone calls. We don't have that. That's who I think the killer is going to be. And isn't it true, Nicholas Bogle Burroughs joining us in the New York Times, police have ruled out any connection between the skinning of a dog a couple of miles away prior to the murders and 3 other stab victims from 2 stabbing incidents. All those have been ruled not connected. Is that correct, Nicholas?
Right. There's been so much speculation around this case, of course, that the police have spent a lot of the time in their public statements trying to dispel these rumors. So, like you said, there's been cases elsewhere, I believe one in Oregon, that the police have had to come out and say, we don't see anything that leads us to believe there's a connection. And they've also spent a lot of time, as you mentioned, with the death of a dog. Elsewhere, they believe that was caused by, another animal. They've also spent a lot of time talking about suspects that they have apparently ruled out. So there was a man in a hoodie at a food truck that 2 of the victims, Maddie and Kaylee, went to on the night of the attacks. And, the kind of internet sleuth community, of course, has tried to pin down, who could have done this. But in doing so, they've kind of put out a lot of names that the police have ended up saying, we don't think that person is connected to this. And so that person was among them. The person who gave 2 of the victims a ride home, the 2 surviving roommates, and there's about 5 more people that the police have come out and said, we don't believe they have a connection to this.
Guys,
but I think right.
Guys, a piece of the puzzle that may become critical. Take a listen to our cut 65, Kana Whitworth.
In a case like this, though, where the victims and the survivors were all so active on social media, is that helpful to the investigation to learn about them and their friends and their lives?
Well, I think it's both helpful, and it also just enlarges the investigation overall. Mm-hmm. It just has more people for us to try and contact and try and get information on the evening in question, and just be able to do a full analysis and review of the case.
Straight out to special guest joining us, Kathleen Canning Mello, former FBI unit chief for 31 years, 10 of those assigned to the FBI Behavioral Analysis Unit, now in Stroger, North Carolina. Kathleen, what can we learn from social media about these victims and the potential perpetrator?
Absolutely, the police and FBI investigators are going through all of their social media with a fine-tooth comb. And I would go back weeks or even months trying to examine, identify the people within their network, try to identify their patterns over the last couple of weeks and people that they have encountered. And you would imagine this is such a data-driven sort of investigation as well, in terms of cell phone data and other ring camera video, CCTV. This is why it's taking a while to go through all that digital evidence, because it requires expertise, right? We need computer forensic examiners to go through a lot of this data, to recover missing data from a lot of the devices. It takes time and it takes expertise. So I understand the frustration, but it certainly is necessary for the investigators to go through all of their social media contacts and all of their phones and all of their photographs in order to try to piece together and maybe identify this person who
right.
feels that.
I mean, I'm curious as to what they would be looking for. For instance, Joe Scott Morgan, I would look to see whoever had friended them, who was on their Snapchat map, who was snapping with them, there's so many things to look at, who had liked or disliked something or unfriended them. There's so many levels of seeming intimacy online that's not real. And I guarantee you, if this was somebody in their sphere, they're looking at their Insta, they're looking at their story, as it's called. I believe that may hold a key.
Yeah, it could. But, we got to consider one other thing. This is unlike any other kind of community that this could have happened in. We're talking about a university community. These kids that populate the student body, they're already looking toward Thanksgiving break, okay? And then you have this horrific event that occurs. And even by the admission of the president of the university, he said that some kids might not come back. Well, one of the problems this poses for the local police is the fact that these kids have left, Nancy, and you know better than anybody. There is something that you get when an eye-to-eye interview with individuals where you're sitting across the table from them and you can cue them, you can get illicit information from them. There's a potential you're going to miss something here, because even those individuals that didn't have direct contact with these poor victims, they might see something or they might have heard something that now has lost all context. We're now 2 weeks down range from this. These kids have gone home. Some of them have not come back. They've offered for them to take online classes. That's no fault of the university. That's just the reality. And this is the big obstacle, I think, that the police are facing in this case.
Good point.
Guys, that would explain if the killer left immediately after the killing. It could all be chalked up to leaving out of fear, lost in the shuffle, maybe never returning. This is a very transient community. People come in and out depending on, do they graduate? Do they lay out a quarter? Are they leaving for work? Are they going to come back? Are they picking up summer classes? That entirely compounds the difficulty of trying to locate the killer. As of right now, no motive, no murder weapon, no suspect. On top of it all, we are learning that the families are rankling, the families of the victims, because of lack of information. Take a listen to our Cut 63, our friend Jonathan Vigliotti.
Police are keeping details they do have under lock and key, including audio of the 911 call, the names of the surviving roommates, and the names of those at the house who spoke to dispatchers during the call, citing case integrity. The lack of information is a pain point for Kaylee Consalvez's already grieving family.
We all want to play a part in helping, and we can't play a part if we don't have any real substantial information to work from.
Detectives did dispel rumors that the victims were tied up and address claims that Consalves had a stalker.
So far, we have not been able to corroborate it, but we're not done looking into that piece of information.
Oh, well, the roommates have been named. Isn't it Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk? Aren't those the names, Nicholas?
Those names are out there. I'm not sure that that's come from the police, but I know that the victims had posted on social media with those two students.
I would be curious. Dr. Jory Crossan joining me, psychologist, faculty, St. Leo University, and author of Operation SOS. Dr. Jory, do you believe the killer acted as a methodical serial killer such as BTK? I mean, there's a big difference in a mass killer or spree killer and
of all the names, and then we've come to find out
a serial killer. Do you think he would have thought to take a trophy with him, or was he hastily leaving the scene of the slaughter?
I think he was hastily leaving as a mass killer, not a serial killer. I would even venture to say that he's left the area, and I would say that he probably left right after that, got out of the area.
Okay, we know there was no theft. We know there was no sex assault. We know now that the victims were not bound or gagged in any way. I want to follow up on the fact that the families are upset they're not getting enough information. Nicholas Bogle-Burrows with me, national reporter, New York Times. It's not the police duty or law enforcement to spoon feed us, the media, information. But regarding the victims' families, that's a whole nother can of worms. You have to stay in touch with the victims' families. What are we learning about police refusal to release info to victims' families?
Right. Well, all indications have been that they have received not much more information than has been provided publicly. Kaylee's family has spoken about, I think her older sister, Olivia Gonsalves, has really kind of turned into an investigator herself. She was going through, her sister's phone account and looking at who she had called. She was looking at this live stream from the food truck before just about anyone. And she's really gone into investigator mode and is intent on solving the murder of her own sister. And I think their father, Stephen Gonsalves, has said recently that they are really not getting much more information than the public and are expecting fewer updates as this drags on.
To David Leroy, high-profile lawyer out of Idaho who is intimately familiar with this home, who has been in the home and knows the area very well. David, we also are told by police they're convinced that this was a targeted attack. This wasn't a burglary gone wrong or a rape attempt gone wrong, but targeted. So that leads me to the question, how do they know it's a targeted attack? They're not releasing that information, but think about it. Was one targeted? Two? All four? Most likely one. Why would they say one person was targeted? Were their wounds different? Was their body treated differently than the others? Did they have more wounds than the others? For instance, was their body staged? And what I mean by that is, was a blanket or a sheet pulled up over their face? Any movement of the scene post-mortem is staging. Why do you think, David Leroy, you've handled plenty of murder cases, that police are insisting this was targeted against one of these victims?
Well, the word targeted became initially associated with this homicide that they're now calling the King Road homicides very, very early. In fact, it was perhaps within almost minutes of when this first dialogue began that this began to be called a targeted killing. I think they have stayed with that, partially because the original focus on just one household and 4 people and utterly shocking events in a small community appeared to be unlikely to repeat itself to the general public in any near-term future. And perhaps it is entirely consistent now as they continue to use that with the profiling that we're discussing on the program today. I don't think they know yet, or at least they haven't indicated yet, that it was targeted to any one person or that it was any more targeted than we have already learned. On the other hand, it remains something that is utterly unlikely to pose a general threat to the community in Moscow, as we have discussed today.
Until the killer's caught, I think that there is a threat. To Kathleen Canning Mello, why do you believe police have insisted this is targeting? I mean, David Leroy seems to suggest that they labeled it as targeted at the get-go, so now they're stuck with their own words. I disagree.
Yeah, I think it goes back to the motivation, right? And we're considering the motivation, as we've discussed today, as a revenge motive. So that seems to me, it directly ties into some kind of a target, right? The offender wants revenge against one or more persons. We don't know at this point whether it was one or more victims that were the targets of this attack. But it seems logical to me that this revenge was the motive and one or more of those victims was the target of the attack.
Joe Scott Morgan, it doesn't make sense to me that all 4 are the target. It would make more sense that one is a target. And if so, let's just follow this through to its logical conclusion. How would they determine this was targeted? What could be different about one of the bodies?
The level of violence involved specifically, and a lot has been made of this, because the term multiple has been used, multiple stab wounds. I think the coroner let that slip out, which I was,
hold on, I was too, Joe Scott. I was stunned. Is that what you're going to say? That the coroner blabbed? Now, let me remind everybody, this coroner is not a medical doctor. She is not a medical examiner. She has a 4-year degree. And what did I tell you? It was, Joe Scott, was it English?
It's a J. Yeah, I think so.
And then a JD. She has a lawyer's degree. She's a registered nurse. Also has a history as a registered nurse. That said, take a listen to our cut 46. This is the county coroner, Kathy Mabbutt.
Most of them had just like one That was the lethal stab wound. Yes.
Can you describe what that one might have been?
Fatal ones were to the chest area or the upper body area.
Were there, and I only ask this because it sometimes determines what kind of a crime this was, a crime of passion, a random crime, a fight, a struggle. Was there, were any of them slashed? Were any of their necks cut? Or were these all puncture wounds?
Well, it was a pretty large knife, so it's really hard to call them puncture wounds. And they were definitely stabbings. And I mean, it has to be somebody that's pretty angry in order to stab 4 people to death.
As the county coroner speaking to our friends over at News Nation, Joe Scott, I, like you, was very taken aback that the coroner issued the statement, gave an interview during an ongoing investigation. But did you hear her words? Most of them had her words just like one that was a lethal stab wound. Most of them, not all of them, had one lethal stab wound. Decipher, Joe Scott.
Well, yeah, and then you factor in this idea of defensive wounds because, you know, defensive wounds can come in any number of
How was one body treated
appearance.
differently than the other bodies? Why do we think this was targeted?
Yeah, well, for me personally, if you're asking me if I could examine the bodies, I would take a look and see who had sustained the most trauma.
Exactly.
Because, you know, going to what Dr. Jory said, this is an indication of rage, perhaps. You know, and I'm not a psychotherapist, but, you know, when you see somebody that attempts to really
Right.
destroy somebody with a knife, that gives you an indication of purpose.
Nicholas Bogle-Burrows there on the scene, national reporter, New York Times. What is the mood on campus right now as some students return?
Right. So yesterday was the first day back for students after this had all happened. Many of them had left early for Thanksgiving break following this tragedy. And so I spoke with a lot of students yesterday, and many of them are afraid. They're texting their roommates and, you know, making sure that they're coming back if they are, so that they're not alone. They're staying inside at night. They're walking in pairs. One woman told me she even was planning to get pepper spray for Christmas this year as a gift. So, you know, a lot of them were grateful for the police around campus. Multiple people pointed that out to me, but they are all just getting flooded with calls from their parents, from friends, checking in on them
Sure.
at all times.
Tip line 208-883-7054. Repeat, 208-883-7054. Goodbye, friend.
Okay. I was just looking over I was looking to see if there's anything on Brian Kohberger, but did you guys hear about that car that like went over the over that bridge? It was over in DC, I think. Yeah, Washington DC. It was just one car, and they got it out, I guess, and the person has like life-threatening injuries. I don't know if you guys had seen that. We did actually, Silver Fox, we did a comparison between Brian Kohberger and Ted Bundy. We also did one over him and BTK. AZ, right? He won the dating game, yeah. And then the girl didn't want to go out. She didn't want to go out with him. She backed out. She knew, like women's intuition. I'm telling you right now, that girl, the only reason why I feel like she was alive is because she decided to not go with him. Thank you, Garrett. Appreciate that. I've been running all over the place too, like a crazy woman today. I feel like I've been here, there, and everywhere. It seems like that anyway. Oh, and orders are packed up and ready to go out for tomorrow. Everyone was so sweet and just saying like, take your time and stuff. And I'm like, I could get it done. I don't see, I wish we could see like the car, like the vehicle, but I don't know. They're saying they don't know if he's alive or not, but I hope he is. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. Oh, so I guess YouTube, did you guys notice tonight, was there a lot of YouTube ads? For anybody that doesn't have like premium, I couldn't think of it. And if you guys don't mind just hitting the like button, it really does help the channel grow, and it'll help me. It'll help me out a lot, actually. It does. It helps me. Helps us get into the algorithm. It helps the video get out to more people, and then more people watch it, and then that makes me happy, because more people watch the video. And a me happy is a you happy. No, there was some, or there wasn't any. So, because there's some outrage about it on Twitter. It says YouTube's ad overload, users react to surge in commercials. So, might think you're saying that like there's something wrong with my Twitters. I can't go to the top, but I can go to the latest. This is YouTube algorithm of 5 minutes videos really sucks. Can we stop that? I don't know. Love to argue with the YouTube ad. That's funny. Not like anything's going to happen about it, but what else I was going to say something else. Now I can't remember what it was. I can't remember. It was something. I was like thinking maybe if I swear my whole Twitter feed is nothing but Sebastian drama. I gotta like hit the X's on everyone. Like, just I'm gonna have to unfollow SF for a little while, and I don't know how Hong's probably got on my page, but that's probably because I got on his page, and tweeted a couple things at him. So that's probably why his stuff comes up on my page. But I need like him, like people that are just like not very smart with their words and stuff, and just and what they're doing, and it's everybody. Every single person that's covering Sebastian Rogers right now is exploiting him for everything that they can get. Every single person. The people that are calling out the bullshit, they're exploiting him. The people that are in the knee-deep waders into the bullshit are exploiting him. Exploiting. It's been a year. Right, PJ Second Chance? I took a step back. I haven't been watching any of it. Really, I have not. Man. Premium is so much better SSD. I could never not have premium now. I'd go nuts. Plus if I'm a YouTube creator and you guys have to wait for an ad to go through, that just to me and personally, that's just it's a personal thing. It's a personal thing. I don't like it. But then again, if I pull up like a news article, you'll never see an ad on mine. No, sirree. You're not going to see what Temu shop I was shopping in, which I don't shop Temu, but how it has like all the things you shop, or it'll have you like whatever you look at on the internet. Yeah, no, it's just very much clean aesthetic over here. We try to keep it clean as much as we can. Oh, and speaking of clean, tomorrow we're going to, I don't know, this doesn't have nothing to do with cleaning, but tomorrow I'm going to do a day live. It'll either be tomorrow or Saturday, but I'm thinking tomorrow, as long as I can just type everything up, get everything, my thoughts out into the, paper. I do want to make some channel changes, nothing major. I don't want to scare anybody. No one's going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere, but just some channel changes, just to kind of conform with the other channel that I do have, because I do have a second channel that's unfiltered with Tanya. And although it is a smaller channel than this one, it's more of a live vlogging channel. So I don't know. It's going to be fun. So that's just a little bit of a different channel over there. Over here, we're still going to cover all of our true crime cases and stuff. I think we're just going to incorporate some cold cases, more pre-recorded videos, like edited videos like I used to do back in the day, way back in the day. But yeah. Well, Trixie, I understand that because premium went up. It used to only, not only, stuff adds up. It was like, I want to say like between $4.99 and $6.99 or something like that. Not nothing like to where it's like, okay, major. Now it's like $20. I'm like, I got to do a whole live stream just for that. Just pay the premium price. But I like the premium. I enjoy it. So even if I didn't have a channel, I would have premium. So don't feel bad for me. Don't feel bad for me. Hi, Tiny. Free from ads. Yeah, I hate the ads. Yes, it's very desperate. It's It's like you don't have to do it though. But I guess they feel like they do. I mean, it's just everybody. It's everybody. It's everybody. Nobody is excluded. Pretty much. No one's excluded. As much as I could care for somebody, no one's excluded. Including myself. If I were to continue to keep on just like, going over Sebastian content day in and day out, I would feel like something else, I just would. So that's why I step back away from it. I can help find Sebastian by putting out flyers. I've done 78 videos, so my voice is out there. And if people want to grow their channel off of the drama and the craziness, let them have them subscribers and let's keep all the calm ones over here. You know what I mean? Like really, because they're not subscribers that I would want. I've seen some of them chats. Them chats are hateful. I can't deal with the drama either, Ladybug. It's just too much. I'm like, to keep up with it, you've got to bounce around. And then it's like, you shouldn't have to because just come here and ask me. I should just be able to text one of them and be like, okay, since you're all working the same angle there, what's going on this week? Over 300 days. Like, yeah. Just imagine that. I wonder if anyone's put that as their caption lately or their like title. You know how they were doing like 100 some days or 200 some days. I wonder if they do like, and drama does sell. It does. But I'm just not made out for it. Maybe if I was younger. No, I wasn't made out for it then either. I've never been made out for drama. I don't know. Like I could be drama. My mama knows I had a mouth on me. I have a mouth. But I prefer to keep it clean. And I figure if I don't cover Sebastian's case, nobody can come after me and say anything. So, because people love that too. They be loving to say stuff. It's been over 320 days. Wow. Now we will do something on the 1 year mark. I mean, that's something, I don't know. You know what's going to happen? SSD, all these creators, they're going to move on to another case. They'll pretend like they'll private these videos slowly, but over time, they'll private the videos and they'll act like they never existed, just like every case that they've ever covered before Sebastian. I'm still going to cover like some things about Sebastian's case if stuff comes up, but it'll probably be more pre-recorded than lives. As much as I want to do a live over all of it and be like, just like everybody else and be like, oh my God, look at this that's going on. This is so ridiculous. Like only so many people can stream Brittany. Allegedly with Brittany, that girl has been streamed by every person on the platform. Not saying that I like her, not saying I love her, not even saying a little bit, but everybody. And it's because she's easy content. People will come in And that's why they're doing it. They're doing it because they know people will come in there and watch that shit, guys. They know they'll get 1,000 people in their chat if they stream something about Brittany. I mean, we can go to her channel and we can all listen to to the silence and the holding ons. We don't need to go to another channel to hear those, do we? It's crazy. Really? Trixie, I'm glad. I'm really glad because someone's been trying to do that for a little while. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Yeah, after a while, they'll be gone. And just so if you go to a channel, just next time you go to a channel, check out, see how many videos they have. If they've been on the platform for, let's say, 4 years, 5 years, right? They should have at least minimum a couple thousand videos, in my opinion. Not like 300, not 200. If you're live every night, live every, even if you're live every few nights, it doesn't, the math ain't mathing. And these people are live twice a day. Twice a day. I'm live twice a day. But I don't know. Sometimes I'm live twice a day. Well, Trixie, I'm really glad. I'm really glad because there was someone going around trying to make it look like I was like the meanest person in the world. And I was not. That was not how that went down. Who is it? Yeah, they're accusing people, killing their own child. Like, they won't apologize. I would put my channel on it. They'll move on to the next case. Creators have been told, asked by parents, stop covering my child's case. That would be like the ickiest thing to me. I would feel so icky inside that I wouldn't want to cover that anymore. Some people don't have that ick. Yeah, where is Wizard Walt? Ladybug, you're right. I haven't seen him in a couple days. Well, thanks, Happy Cappy. I appreciate it. It's because our brains can handle more than one case over here. That's what I like about you guys. That's what I love about this chat. I really do. I'm very fortunate to have this many people to be in my chat. Like, I'm not taking it for granted by any means. I used to have nobody in here. Like, there would be like 0 people. And I was like, I'm gonna go live. Like, it was when I was first new. I don't even think I had a channel name. I'm gonna go live. Nobody was even in my live. But then, you get 1 person, 2 people, and then 3 people, and then people start to come a little bit. Thanks, Trixie. This is my natural skin tone too. So that makes me feel really good. Well, it's not natural. I lied. I wear this stuff. It's not natural. I lied. But I don't wear I used to tan. I used to go to tanny bed really bad, but I quit that like 7 years ago. But I use this like Lumi Glow. It's from L'Oreal. It's good stuff. I really like it. It just puts like a shimmer on your skin. And yeah, and all of and if you like, more of my just like, how like we talk at the end of the lives and we just talk about like whatever. If you're into that kind of stuff, make sure you go over and check out my other channel, Unfiltered with Tanya, because we're going to be doing more like life vlog stuff over there. It's going to be more laid back, more fun. It's going to be like, this is more serious, but we do crack a joke when we can, because sometimes I giggle in the worst times, but that's just my personality. But over there, we're going to do whatever we want. We can chit chat. We can cook. I want to cook with you guys. I want to do I don't know, just whatever. Sit somewhere differently. Talk about whatever, talk about life stuff. So I think it'd be fun. I think it'll be fun. I was reading the chat. Well, Trixie, I'm really glad that you said people know you're trauma free. I'm really glad. Because I've been in a couple chats before, well, the same persons, and they would try to bring me up and try to start stuff. And the chat literally it's not picking up what you're putting down, honey. You can continue to try, but your chat, you might want to get your chat on board first. Like, woohoo, like whistle at them and be like, hey, I'm going to talk about TitaniumBuilt. Like get them pumped up before you start talking about me. I don't know, because they just seem like they don't care. Oh, good, Happy Cabby. I'm so glad. Thank you. You guys are. Is he really at the local Dollar Tree buying cat food cosmetics? Oh my God, Squeaky. I wish he would meet a lady. I thought, and I still think this could be a possibility, that he left the house lured out by kids from school, maybe. And, that's what I think could have happened to him. He was like lured out. I don't think his parents had anything to do with it. Even Seth, even though, I've said things that I don't prefer about what Seth's come out of his mouth. All three parents, really. But I don't see, I don't see it in Katie. I don't see it in Chris. I don't see it in Seth. Some of the stuff is some of the stuff they do weird. Yeah. But can you imagine having every word? Imagine just doing an interview, your first interview. Just imagine, right? First time on a camera, someone's pointing a camera in your face, not mine for once, in yours, with the big lights. And you got someone asking you, where do you think your son's at? I would be so nervous. I would be like, I would be the worst person to have a missing child, because your girl would be fumbling over her words. I wouldn't know what to say. It would be bad. I would need Vincent to take the wheel on that one. That's something I would be like, take the wheel. I'm done. But I think Walt is for sure eating ice cream somewhere too. Yeah. Yeah. No one knows what happened to him. We know exactly. Nobody knows, but just from what I see and what I feel in my heart, I feel that I don't think the parents had anything to do with it. And have to sit there for a year and be talked about. Let's say they did have something to do with it, right? Does that really like make it okay that we sat here and said some of the things that have been said? Like some of the things have been said about like Katie in particular, like shouldn't have been out on the interwebs, and I don't know why Seth keeps putting it out there. Yeah, I thought that. Is that one of your top theories too? Really, Squeaky? I've been saying that. We'll go back to that video. It's probably been since March. I made a video. I think that it could have been like a fight. Like we've seen it in other cases, but like maybe the kids decided they were going to beat him up and it went a little too far. We have seen cases where they've searched the original area and they've researched and, they do it a third time and then they find something. And, it's just, yeah, blue cake butterfly. You're absolutely right. Oh, thanks, Kiki. My eye. So, I lost my right eye in a car accident. I'm going to tell my story on my other channel someday, but basically, when the car accident happened, my eye was like cut. So I had like 3-4 millimeter gashes in my eye. So they weren't able to like save it. It was just so far, I guess, damaged. I didn't get to see pictures of it damaged. I kind of curious, but I'm not that curious. My friend had his legs taken off, for instance, like both of them, double amputee, and he got the video of it. He showed it to me. You never want to look at that. I never want to look at that ever again in my life. But yeah, no, so I lost my eye about 10 years ago, and I'm getting ready to get another new prosthetic. I had two. This will be my third one. So, and I have metal everywhere. But you wouldn't really guess if you just looked at me. From the same accident, all from the same. And if you think the accident was bad, what happened afterwards, I mean, was even worse, like almost. So, like it was a crazy accident. Now I did, I'm about to say, I did post my videos before about my accident. That's been like two. I've only been on the app 2.5 years. I'd say it's like about 2.5 years ago. Hey, Ludwig. I'm just reading the chat. I know. She was probably looking for the check or just looking around. I look around oh my gosh, I look around all the time. Especially because I'm blind. And I've never been, okay, so it's my right side, so it's my dominant side. This is what I'll do, guys. This is how I need to learn how to use my other side. Vincent will come up behind me and he'll say, "Hey," and I will crank my head all the way around like it's like Exorcist style. I can almost get it to turn all the way around. It feels like at this point, instead of just going this way where I could see him in my peripheral. I do it every time. Every single time. Yeah, you did. You have to catch the replay. It was pretty good. Yeah, looking for a refill to get. Yeah, right. Wait to get a refill. That's what it looks like to me, or like she's looking to get the check, or maybe that's when she got the rolls. I can't remember exactly when she got the rolls, but she could have been looking around like, Sebastian wanted more rolls. I don't know. I just didn't see. I think we've watched it once on this channel or twice, but I didn't even. I don't like watching it any more than that. I feel like it's like their last meal together and it's their personal time. I know it's a public camera, but like, I don't know. Just, I wouldn't want someone to sit there and watch me eating and if there was nothing behind it, I don't know. Oh, well, I bet so. BHB and Nick, they work together like two peas in a pod. I mean, well, they did before anyway. I don't know about too much longer. We all knew we all knew she was like writing that. It didn't even sound good. Who busted her out, Castleberry? That's funny. Oh, barbecue scent, the metadata proof. Oh. Is it Queen? Is she live? They are, man, Ludwig. They don't understand. They have no idea what they signed their name up to. Oh, now I got to go over and look who's live. Did you guys see the Stacey Wandra interviews? I thought about playing them, but is it somebody that's live right now? I must not have them. Wait, what am I doing? Why do I have my own trial? Oh wait, I'm on trial. Hold on a second. Not on live. I was trying to go to the live tab. Is it elevated? Was it elevated truth? I'm not getting sucked in. I just want to see who said it. Oh, barbecues on burnt toast. Oh. Yeah, she'll be live. Queen Bee will go live soon. Burnt toast just ended. Yeah, they'll be live soon. Man. I figured if anything, if I want to talk about Sebastian case, I could always go on panel somewhere. So it just ended. Wow. So that gives us at least 45 to 50 minutes before Queen comes on, because you know her music is her intro. I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. But it is like 25 minutes long. And I'm like, dang it. Today I was trying to listen to her, but the music was so long. I had to exit out because I was driving and I was like wanting to listen to something else, like because I'll be jamming to her music. I was like, I need to jam to my music. I think it was it was earlier. So because Voices' grandmother passed, and I wanted to tell Voices, I don't know if she's listening or if she listens, but I am extremely sorry about your grandmother. I was going to write it in the chat today, but I felt like saying it out loud is, I mean, it was just better than putting it in a chat. We're creators, you know? I know that she took care of her grandmother. So, no, you're fine. I was just getting ready to end anyway. So that's perfect. That's perfect. Wonder, so yeah, she's gonna be mad that she got conned, but she's gonna pretend like she didn't. You know, this stuff that happened all over Burnt Toast's live. This is all gonna go over Brittany's head tonight. She ain't gonna. Yeah, she ain't going to. I'll have to go over there and check it out. I subscribe to Burnt Toast. I just never get to catch her lives. I'm always live. You know what I mean? Girl needs to take a day off so I can go and look at the other lives. But no, thank you. I appreciate that. Let me go see if because I just saw the Elevator Truth was live, so I was like, oh, okay. Oh, he's actually like in a room now. Like he used to just have like the green screen or whatever. Why won't it let me see? Sebastian Rogers study session part 2, clutch them pearls. This is actually part 300 and some, but okay. He's done this study session before. He's done this like a few times, so. I wouldn't mind covering like another case, like trying to cover like Karen Reed or something, but I just don't know where I'd even start with that case. So if anyone has any ideas, let me know. But I think I'm gonna jump off here. Oh, BJ's gonna be crying tonight. She's gonna cry. And that's not me talking bad about her. That's me talking truth. It's just the truth. It's just truth. Well, one lady went over there from my chat and told her a big, fat, bold-faced lie, and then Brittany went off with it like, I don't know what her problem is, trying to fit in everywhere. And I'm like where? Where? I don't even like chat in anybody's chats. You know what I mean? See, Castleberry gave me the thumbs up. I'll write that down. Oh, my nose is itching. I swear. I never have a pen beside me. I bet you I do if I just looked better. Let me flip my book back. Because we have a lot of stuff to I'm in southwestern Ohio. Sue, are you in Ohio? Okay. Oh man. Yeah. I just wish that people wouldn't even give her the hate view, like the hate watch, because it really is making her head explode. You know. Oh, Rocky, I'm so glad she did that. I didn't know she started counseling before she passed. Oh, that's good. It literally brought me to tears. Like I mean, I'm not big friends with Voices or anything like that. I barely know Voices. We're acquaintances on the internet, but I know that she used to live with her grandmother. I know how much her grandmother meant to her. It was like her mom, in a way, like, so, from one human to another, Yeah, versus in chat, yeah. Well, I called her. And actually I texted her today. I texted her yesterday because the girl that went into her chat tried to start some trouble again. I said, "Here we go again on my own." So I wrote her a big long paragraph about how people are just going to I said, I'm telling you, people are going to start stuff between creators for their own benefit because they like the drama. That's what they do. Because like yesterday, she wrote me wanting to come back and chat, but then she's in her chat yesterday saying bad stuff again. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, Castleberry. But she calls me Gretchen Wiener from Mean Girls. I'm the top mean girl. Out of all the people, me? Not even Granny? Granny should be Gretchen. I should be like Lindsay Lohan or something. I shouldn't even be really like on the list, but I'll sit there, I guess. And next Wednesday, everybody wear pink. But thank you guys for being here tonight. I appreciate it. I really, really do. That it is. It's just jealousy. And I just letting it roll off my shoulder at this point, I'm not jealous. So, that's all that matters. And I think we all know that. So thank you guys for being here. I do appreciate it. I'm sure you'll hear some crying, screaming, and that in about the next 25 to 30 minutes. If you're on one side of YouTube, if you're on the other side of YouTube, you'll be seeing Queen Bee. But thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys all tomorrow on our live. I'm going to do a day live, so don't forget. I'm going to just it's going to be like a channel changes just to give you guys a little bit more of a summary of what we're going to be doing. And we're going to be doing some more giveaways and stuff like that too. Some fun stuff coming your way. So I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening. Bye, guys.